Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious ketogenic spinach and mushroom soup. So I've recently gone on a ketogenic diet. Well, I don't like to call it a diet. It's more of adjusting your food choices. It's a different way of eating. And I've been on it for probably about over 2 months now. And if you're not familiar with ketogenic diets, there's a lot of videos and links around that you can have a look. But fundamentally, it's an insulin-friendly diet. By that, you basically avoid and cut off any food that's going to overstimulate your insulin. That's namely carbohydrate and sugar. The reason I want to go on this way of eating was basically I did some research and there are a lot of benefits to it, and I thought I'll give it a go. So it's great for weight management, and we all care about that, right? It makes managing weight a lot easier, and also provides a lot of mental clarity. You know, ketogenic diet, most people associate it with Atkins way of eating, which is slightly different. I think Atkins is mostly cutting off carb, but it didn't really care about much else. It's basically lowering the carb and you lose weight that way. But ketogenic is mostly low carb, but moderate amount of protein as well, which is very different from Atkins. I think, you know, Atkins people tend to consume a lot of meat and protein, and that has negative effects as well. Ketogenic is a low carb, well, it's a moderate to low protein and high fat, which sounds really scary, but surprisingly, it works really well. So far, my body feels great and I have a lot of energy because it's burning my body fat rather than seeking out food that comes in through eating. There's a lot of material out there, videos and websites, so you can have a look if you're interested. I'm not advocating anyone to go on this diet. It's really my personal journey, my personal choice to go on this experiment and to see how my body responds. And so far, it's been pretty good. So I'm going to continue doing so until something changes my mind. So if you're interested in my progress, stay with this channel and I'll give you regular updates. But in the process, I have to readjust the way I'm cooking and the food choices I make. So I want to show you some really delicious ketogenic recipes I've been cooking. Ultimately, this is a vegan channel, but I will only share with you recipes I actually cook and eat myself. So as I'm sort of readjusting the way I'm eating, it only makes sense that I share with you what I'm cooking nowadays. This is one of my favorite soups ever. And as weather is getting slightly cooler, particularly in London, it's such a wonderful way to warm you up. So let me show you how to do it. The ingredients you need. So first of all, you need a big bunch of spinach. So I'm very lucky I've got a local greengrocer that they sell these proper spinach, and they're delicious. But if not, you can use baby spinach, like this one. You can find it in any supermarket, I think. And a few butter mushrooms, nice and plump. You also need some walnuts here. So these are organic walnuts, and some pine nuts, a few pine nuts here. And on top of that, we're going to use coconut milk. Theoretically, you can use any kind of nut milk that you like. For this one, I'm going to use coconut milk because it goes really well with spinach. And also, I'm going to thicken it with coconut cream. So this one has been opened the last time I made it. So you can get coconut cream from the supermarket quite easily now. And it gives it more creamy texture. And on top of that, we're going to add in some nutritional yeast and some salt. And that's it. That's all you need. So the first thing we're going to do is to toast our nuts. So I'm going to turn the heat on, probably medium to low heat. And then we're going to just put in the nuts and the walnuts. And just give it a little swirl. So the trick of toasting nuts is really patience. You just need to use slow heat and let the oil in the nuts slowly warm up and brown. If you turn the heat too high, it would just go black and it will burn. Okay, our nuts ready. It's nice and brown. Now we're gonna turn the heat off. I'm going to transfer it to a piece of kitchen paper to cool. So to make the soup, we need a food processor. You can use a blender as well. And I've got my spinach here, which I have washed thoroughly and dried in the salad spinner. And now I'm going to just pop my spinach into the food processor. And if it doesn't go in one go, you can blitz the first batch first and then add the rest. So with the spinach in, we're going to add in some coconut milk and some coconut cream. So here's the coconut, 1 cup of coconut milk. I'm going to blitz it. So the amount of coconut milk really depends on how much soup you're making and how thick you like it. So I'll add in 1 cup to start with, and I can look at the thickness and then decide to add more or not. Okay, now I'm going to look at the consistency. There's bits there. I'm going to just clean up. I'm going to add in the rest of my spinach. And I think I'll need a little bit more coconut milk. So I'm going to just pour in a little bit more, maybe half a cup. Now I'm going to add the coconut cream. So we need about probably 2 tablespoons. So I've got 1 here. I've got 1 more. It's really sort of, some bits sort of solidified. But that's okay, we'll just squeeze it out. So that's 2 tablespoons of coconut cream. And now we're going to blitz it again. Okay, that looks really nice and creamy and it's the consistency I want. Perfect, so let's cook the soup. So to cook the soup, we're going to fry the mushrooms first. So these butter mushrooms I have sliced up thinly, as thin as possible, and this is as thin as I can manage. And we're going to fry them first and then add in the spinach. So turn the heat on to medium strong heat. We're going to add in some coconut oil here. I've got some coconut oil here. You can use olive oil if you want, but I'm going with the coconut theme here. So I'm going to add in a small lump of coconut oil. So with the ketogenic, fat is actually your best friend. You don't want to shy away from it. But if you're on normal high carb diet, you probably want to cut it down slightly so you don't go crazy with fat. And this is such a weird thing to say fat is your best friend, because we're always taught to fear fat. So now I'm going to add in my mushroom. And just fry it gently until it's thoroughly cooked and browned. Well, mushroom is one of those vegetables, they're great either raw or cooked thoroughly. You're left with this sort of chewy, meaty kind of texture. So a bit of smoke here, but I don't want to turn on my ventilator. It's going to be a bit noisy. It might be a bit smoky. Maybe I'll turn it on. Never mind. Just a little bit. Okay, so the mushroom is nicely cooked and brown, and lower the heat slightly, and now we're going to add in the soup. Okay, now we're going to add in this gorgeous green it's very smoky. Whoops. And then you can turn the heat back up a little bit if you want to. And now I'm just looking at the thickness. I think I probably want to add a tiny bit more coconut milk. So I'm going to just add in a little bit of milk. I mean, the color is gorgeous. The color is absolutely gorgeous. And just let it heat up slowly and not to rush. At this point, we can add some salt. So the amount is obviously up to your taste. So I'm going to just have a small pinch to start with and see how it goes. And now we're also going to add in nutritional yeast. The amount, again, is up to your preference. I'll just put in a couple of big pinches. It will give it that slightly rich, cheesy flavor. It would just make the soup more mild and more full body. So you want to keep stirring. And the goal is to cook it thoroughly, but not over boiling it, because you're going to destroy the goodness of the spinach. And also the color as well. You want to maintain that bright, glorious green. I'm going to just have a quick taste. Let's see. Ooh. Oh my God, it's so good. The spinach really makes a difference. I mean, I don't know why the supermarkets don't sell this proper real spinach. I'm gonna just add a tiny pinch of salt there. But it tastes really, really good. So it's almost done. I mean, I'm gonna just leave it to bubble for another few seconds. I'm gonna stop the heat. Okay, I think we're almost there. I'm going to stop the heat now. Very steamy. And the soup is done. So now we're going to assemble the soup. I've got my pot here. I'm going to just ladle in this gorgeous green soup. The reason I keep the mushroom separate is it's just nice to have that different texture. So you have that creamy soup, and then you also have something to bite on. Okay. So I'm going to drizzle in some hemp seed oil, and it's really, really good. But you can use olive oil if you want to. Just give it a nice drizzle. The color is so rich and dark. And we're going to top the soup with those nuts we toasted earlier on. Again, it's to add the texture and the nutrient. I'm going to sprinkle some pine nuts. I love pine nuts. Toasted pine nuts is just heavenly. And a couple of walnuts. Done. Now it's time to eat. So there you go. Keto-friendly spinach and mushroom soup topped with nuts. It's so, so good for you. So I can't wait to dig in with this. And the hemp seed oil is definitely good. If you get the best hemp seed oil you can get, the organic, cold press, it tastes amazing. Let's have a taste. Oh, really, really good. So you've got that creamy spinach soup, and then you have bits of pine nuts sort of popping in, making appearances. And you've got that chewy, meaty mushroom as well. So comforting. So in the next few videos, I'd like to share with you more of the sort of keto-friendly recipes I've been eating. You don't have to be on keto to enjoy them. So if you generally want to go gluten-free for health reasons, or you're sensitive to it, you can try these recipes. So I'm looking forward to show you another recipe next time. So see you next time.